everyone, this is Gilmer, and this is my episode 8 of my Let's Play To End All Wars in Ageod Title Simulate World War I. And I have to apologize, I've been off for a month, but certain things have gotten in the way, and also I've just had a lot of trouble with Cam Studio. So I have actually changed the recording program that I use, and I'm using a program called XSplit now, which is a lot easier to use, and I'm hoping a lot more user-friendly for me, because I lost two videos today where I was trying to do episode 8. If you watched episode 7, you know that we finished on early December, and now it's late January. I lost 2 turns to videos that Cam Studio 8. So I got frustrated with it and decided not to use it anymore, and I noticed that somebody had mentioned XSplit in another YouTube video, so I'm checking it out, and I think it's going to do very well for me. I am actually using a free version, so you will see a watermark down in the bottom right. I apologize for that, but the video is going to be pretty good, and it's going to be a lot more useful for me. And yeah, so I'm really excited about not losing videos anymore, as a matter of fact. So what has happened in the 2 turns that I lost? Really not that much. We had the one thing that I will say, or the few things that I will point out, is on the most recent turn we actually had 2 battles, and I will show it. We won a national morale in one of them, and 1 point of national morale in the other. And the first battle was I actually assaulted Cologne, and in my previous 2 videos I talked a little bit about Cologne and how Cologne has been around since at least the 1400s, and the Cologne Cathedral is a historical landmark, and it was started in actually the 1400s, and I think they said it was finished in the 1800s, and it was not destroyed, but it was damaged heavily during World War II bombing. But then they repaired it, I think, by 1955, and it's definitely a place I would love to go see. And then I also talked about Aachen, which is a city that has been around since the days of Charlemagne, actually, Charlemagne the Great. And I think he was the ruler of the Holy Roman Empire, or what was considered the Holy Roman Empire in the not 700s, the 900s. So anyway, that's just a little historical note that I had previously mentioned in my previous videos that I lost. So anyway, we won a battle when we assaulted Cologne, and Edward de Castelnau was the leader of the forces, and we destroyed 3 units, and our losses were, only about 25%, a little bit more than 25% of what their losses were. So that was a pretty good victory. And then second battle was Delangle de Carry, and if I scroll down a little bit, it's this area right there, Frankfurt, where Delangle de Carry is, and the British General French marched to the sound of guns and participated in that battle. And or maybe he didn't. Maybe it was some other French generals. I'm not sure. But either way, it was a very large battle where the Germans. I don't know what flag that is. That's not the German flag. It might be the Austrian flag, or I'm not really sure. But anyway, the German side, or the Central Power side, attacked the Western Entente, and we won a major victory there. A pretty good victory. I wouldn't call it a major victory, but it was a pretty big victory. 29,000 men lost to 37,000 men. So that gained me 2 national morale. And so if you press F9, you can see the Central Powers national morale is 89, and mine is at 102, and the Eastern Entente is at 107. And the Central Powers combat power is still pretty high. If you remember from my previous videos, that is a percentage, I do believe. So if you use the Western Entente, which, as I've mentioned before, Western Entente really should be probably listed down here. The baseline is 100% because it's going by Western Entente. So I have 100%. The Central Powers has 192% relative to my forces. So they outnumber me almost 2 to 1. But then they have to deal with the Eastern Entente as well, which is 96% of what I have. So if you add the Eastern Entente and the Western Entente together, you get 196 versus 192. So we have a tiny advantage in combat power. And then, of course, the second number is naval power. And our naval forces are much better than, if we were fighting the Central Powers and Eastern Entente put together, their navies couldn't match the Western Entente's navy, because of course Great Britain at this point had the best navy in the world and the best equipped navy in the world and the most powerful navy in the world. So anyway, as I mentioned in previous videos, my strategy was to not frontal attack the fortresses on the German-French border, but to bypass them going through Luxembourg, and then branching out. As soon as I got to Bonn, I started branching out to the southeast with General French and General D'Langle-Carey, and then also to the north with Edward de Castelnau. And that's working pretty good. So my plans for de Castelnau is actually to move to Essen and see if I can't destroy this airport right here that is pretty powerful looking, and just as it's almost like begging me to come up there and attack it. And I'm really just going to let French and D'Langle-Carey kind of regroup some of their cohesion. As you can see, the blue bar is their cohesion, and it's way down across the board. And also maybe to gain some replacements. And let's see if they need any replacements bought. I have auto replacements on, so the system should be buying replacements for my... I don't know why I can't... Oh, I know why. I have no war supplies. Okay, one of the things I did last term was I printed money for both France and Great Britain. And I had 2,469 state funds, and I used up 1,000 buying troops and buying, if you can see, I actually bought a lot of British troops and 2 artillery units in Great Britain as well, 2 heavy artillery units. So they will be, being produced to fill out the British troop armies. And the reason I say that is because here we have the British Army. Lord Kitchener is actually the overall commander of all British troops, but he can also have a British Army built around him. He has 53 combat command points, and he's only using 40 of them. So I want to fill that out some more so that he has a little bit more firepower. And also I just promoted General French to command a full army. The British Expeditionary Force was basically a glorified corps, and with Lord Kitchener within range of him, I could promote, quote unquote, promote this formation into an army with General French commanding. So that's what I did. So now he has 47 command points, and he's only using 24. So I really need to fill out these formations so that they can fight at full power. And the other thing I wanted to show is we had a lot of generals get congratulated for their actions, but not one of them yet has been is eligible for promotion, which I'm pretty disappointed in that. But it will come. It will come. And what happened was, and I'm going to try to use this program and see if it works the way that it was just are told to me it will work. And let's see. No, never mind. Is it still? Yeah, it's still recording, I think. But I have to buy the full license to actually use the where I could like do little telestrator or telestrator movements like they do on Monday Night Football, where I could actually circle the units and show where they are and what they're doing and where the attack came from. The attack came from, I believe, from here, or at least he participated in the battle somewhat. But I'm not really sure where that unit that attacked me went to, but it doesn't really matter, I don't think. Okay, Naval received the training of in Paris is ready. So we're going to move him to Reims. I'm going to do it by rail. And the next one is in Angers. I call it Angers. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I took French in high school and college, but that doesn't mean I know how to pronounce every single word. And then Dijon, which I think everybody knows how to pronounce Dijon. Oh, hold on a second. And these are militia units, and I haven't moved all of them up to the front, but when I build a unit in a city, I just go ahead and add the militia unit to it and bring it up and actually use it in formations, because if the German armies get to Dijon, I've lost the game anyway, so I'm not too worried about Dijon having a garrison. And what else? Let's look at diplomacy for a second. And the two main points I want to point out about diplomacy is Italy, 67% alignment to Entente. It's moving up fairly quickly. A couple turns ago, when on my last Let's Play, it was at about 60%. Now it's at 67%. So it's jumped up about 7% in 2 turns. That's pretty good. The USA has moved up a little bit. I think it was 16% 2 or 3 turns ago, and now it's at 19%. It's moving up slowly. I have minor diplomats in Greece, Romania, neither Holland or Belgium, because I don't think there's going to help. But I have one in Arabia. That's to get the T.E. Lawrence. If you've ever seen the movie Lawrence of Arabia, this is kind of to get Arabia to rebel against the Ottoman Empire. And once that happens, then I get a fairly powerful unit of camel and horse that's commanded by T.E. Lawrence. So that's a good thing to get. And then the last one is Denmark. It's right. It's north of Germany, and maybe I could do a amphibious invasion, or not really an amphibious invasion. Just move some troops into Denmark and start attacking from the north. So that's why I'm doing Denmark. What else? Let's see. F2. It's the units. I've shown you that. F3, F4. Oh, Tunisia to Italy. I didn't know this was available this term, but Italy dreamed of becoming an imperial power and looked to parts of northern and eastern Africa for potential colonies. Granting Italy control of Tunisia would be graciously accepted by the Italians, but will harm prestige and morale in France. This event can only be played if Italy is still a neutral nation. Italy shifts 10% Towards the Entente, Italy gains Tunisia, France loses 10% alignment in all regions, and Western Entente -5 national morale and 1,000 or 100 victory points. I want to do it just because I want to get Italy into the war as soon as possible. And as I mentioned in the 2 turns that I lost to Cam Studio, Italy is going to be very important because it is a pretty strong ally, and I will use it to attack with pretty strong formations up into Trento, Bozen, Sachsenberg, to Flitsch, Gorizia, and maybe even Trieste. I don't know. It just depends on how it works out. But once I'm able to open up the Italian front, I can move French troops. France has a common border with Italy and common railroads. I'll be able to move French troops into Italy and use them to attack up in Austria. So that is something I want fairly quickly. So we'll see how that works. And plus, if I don't do it, Germany can do it, I think. And if Germany or the Central Powers do it, that makes it just that much longer for Italy to actually come to the Entente. So, as you can see, my national morale immediately went down by 5 from 102 to 97. That's from taking that option. I don't know what they did historically, but I do know that that's what I want to do. So let's execute this turn. Let's see. Actually, let's do this. And we'll see. Let's just move it there. And what I'm doing here is I'm taking these new units that have been congregated in Reims and moving them up to the front lines so that I can parcel them out to formations that are not completely full. Like, as you can see, this one is only using 12 command points of 24, which is down here. I could put two of these divisions, I guess is what they call them, into it, and I think that would fill it out to 24 exactly. And Dubai, he's at 51 of 52. Twaziam Army is 46. I have some troops coming down here to fill out the Reserve de Ministère. So he's a 4 or 5. That's pretty good. Except on defense, he's horrible. But on offense, he'd be pretty good. So anyway, we've already looked at the victory screen. And one other thing I want to take a look at. I'm looking to see what the Grand Fleet looks like right now. See that the cohesion of the Grand Fleet is coming up very slowly. It's normally at about 12,000 power. It was all the way down to 1,500, and the cohesion, as you can see, is still pretty low across the board. As soon as it regains to 12,000, I'm going to move it out into interdiction type activities where it will intercept naval forces as needed or as it becomes available. Couple other notes that I covered in the videos that I lost. We are, with the Ottoman Empire joining the Central Powers, we moved some British forces up from Kuwait. That some of them we brought over from India, but some were already in Kuwait. We moved them up and are besieging the port of Basra in the Persian Gulf. And hopefully we will maybe get enough combat troops in here so that we can move up and take Baghdad, which is in modern day Iraq. And South Africa, I've got the Boer War going, and what happened is that I think in the 1890s the British fought the Boer Wars, or one of the Boer Wars, and defeated the Boers. And now that Great Britain's in World War One, the Boers decided to cause trouble. So I have to have a certain amount of troops in there's like a 2% for every element of troops I have in here that they defeat the uprising, and it's just a way to tie down troops in South Africa and cause me trouble, and it causes me victory points, I think, each turn. So I have a fairly strong force here with Jan C. Smuts commanding it, that hopefully that they will be defeated fairly quickly. And I have a fairly decent combat force there too. One thing I'll point out, and it's kind of like my beginner's corner that I've actually stolen from Narwhal from the Ageod forums, is I don't like putting troops inside cities. I mean, yeah, if you got a garrison, that's fine. The garrison's fine, but not large formations. See how this this has a entrenchment. I think you lose that if you put it inside. I can't get it. Can't get it to actually go in that city, but anyway, if you put a large force, like let's say I put Jan C. Smuts into Cape Town, and this guy came down and started besieging it, it's very difficult to get those troops back out of that city. They tend to just lose power as the turns go on, and eventually they end up just surrendering, which is what's going to happen up here in Tsingtao. If you see Tsingtao, it is the German forces in Tsingtao are a total power of 384. Well, they're not going to attack my 526 power here, and I'm just going to siege them, and eventually they're going to just surrender, and they'll lose hit points and they'll lose power every turn until that happens. So I don't like putting troops inside cities. I just don't like doing it. It's just one of those things that the game engine doesn't handle very well. It's better to leave your troops outside the city if it's a large formation and let them entrench, because then if a larger force comes into the region and defeats it, it has a chance to retreat out of that region and go backwards, as opposed to if it's in a city, it's stuck there. So you won't ever see me put I mean, if it's way behind the front lines, let's say Paris, if I had a large formation in the region of Paris, I would, and it needed to recover hit points and needed to recover replacements in elements, I would probably put it, into the inside Paris. But that's because it's not going to get attacked in Paris. I mean, if I have a large formation in Paris that is being attacked by a German force, I have bigger problems to worry about than a force being caught inside Paris, because that means that the whole war is completely falling apart. So, alright, let's see, decision mode, not really anything to do there. I could play chlorine gas first use. That becomes available, I think, in January of 1915, when technology, starts up, and you get your first level of everything. And I probably am not going to use it. I've used it before, and it has just not worked very well. Even the first use is just, it's not. It just didn't seem worth it. So I'm not going to do that. All right. I'm going to end this turn, and I'm going to let it execute on screen. and then we'll see what happens. So I'm just going to have so much trouble with Cam Studio that I got really frustrated. I almost decided to not even finish the Let's Play, but um, I just wanted to do it because I think that there are not enough Ageod Let's Plays on YouTube, and quite honestly, several of them that are out there, uh, the people, it's almost like that. For a lot of them, it is their first playthrough of an Ageod title, and they don't know all the commands and things. I saw one that didn't really understand what diplomacy was, and it took them 5 or 6 turns to actually start doing something with diplomacy. So I wanted to finish this. As you can see, the turn is executing, and we'll see what happens. It's finishing. There is no sound on the game because it's just I turned music on and it was kind of annoying, and then I also turned sounds on, and the railroad sounds were pretty obnoxious for a video for Let's Play, so I turned it off. The uprising in South Africa is causing financial and civil unrest. Minus 50 VP, minus 50 state funds, minus 101. Each turn, there is a 2% chance per infantry and cavalry element you have in the region to quell the rebellion. That's what I kind of mentioned a little earlier. Anthony Fokker. This is a German event, and what it does is give the Germans 75 points to aviation research, and it just helps their technology for airplanes get better. Their airplane technology. Tunisia to Italy. That's the card I played. Italy dreamed. Blah 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 blah, and I played that, so Italy should be. Economic sunrise, inflation lowered by 1 point. New aviation models are now available. Let's take a look at some of the aviation models. To be honest, the cards that they draw are pretty cool, but I do think that they could have done a slightly better job on the airplane models. And I'm not understanding why I don't have any war supplies at all. That's weird. I'm supposed to have war supplies. At least some. Okay. Anyway, let's look at diplomacy. See where Italy is at. So see, now Italy has jumped to 77%. I hope they will join the Entente within the next 6 months or so. And they're up to 20% alignment to Entente, so they keep moving up slowly but gradually. I have a lot of troops finishing up training, so we're going to move them to Reims, Orleans, what in he move? Alright. Sydney. I built a couple of divisions in Sydney because I wanted to strengthen this force, and then we're going to Australia squad. Okay. We can fit that there, and then we're going to move it here, I believe. See how long it takes. 26 days. Oh joy. Nothing really going on there. Let's see what's going on up here. Edward de Casnau reached Essen and is besieging it. Some more military planes in Dusseldorf. What? Oh, I've left Cologne empty. I was going to move him up anyway, just because I wanted to see if I could destroy some of these airports or airfields or whatever they call them. Let's see. Here is a actually, I'm going to move this back. If I'd been paying attention, I probably would have done that right. I wanted to point out these two generals, P. Malachet and P. Thibault, are actually the owners of Ageod. This is kind of like an Easter egg. They made faceless generals that were named after themselves, and they just added them to it. And we received these generals on our last turn. Well, actually at the beginning of January, as replacement generals. And it's funny because I don't know why they usually have pictures there, but one of them at least usually has a picture, but they don't have a picture here. So anyway, I'm going to end this video here and see if it comes out well. And my name is Gilmer, and this is episode 8 of my Let's Play To End All Wars, an Ageod title that simulates World War I. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.